Cults, they are these feared things in the real world, things people are trapped in and/or try to escape. Cults in stories, though, sometimes differ, ranging from villain organizations to delusional sadists/masochists. However, today I'm talking about a cult from my own story. The Rezero. So what is the Rezero? They are a cult who believe in these things called progressed beings. These are people who possess more than one race ability. If you haven't watched the shorts, then let me explain. In this world there is 4 races: Chaosin, Seikei, Ginji, and Nightdale. Each one of them have race abilities exclusive to the race. Most people don't even know if this is possible, but there is scientific evidence, and this is part of where the cult started. A scientist went crazy after his wife left and dove into this theory, moreover then gained a large following. However, the cult wasn't called the Rezero then, it was called the Adolf. They believed that the progressed beings will eventually take over the world as the next step in evolution. At this time, the cult wasn't as crazy as it is in the current day, that changes on the events of a day known as the Day of the Departed. On this day, a dungeon break happened and several different almas and other beasts emerged and sent part of the world in a day-long darkness, the only illumination being the light emitted from attacks. On this same day, 3 babies were born. Each one of them had 2 race abilities. Normally, if a child had parents from 2 different races, whoever's genes are more dominant will take place, or some are dormant until disturbed and then takes over. However, each of these children had different situations to counter this. One of them originally had a twin. However, their twin stopped developing halfway and started to merge with them. The twin already had a soul created, and as they merged, they start to bind together. However, their souls are separate, each with a different race: Ginji and Chaosin. In addition to this, the child also grew extra arms, thanks to the 2 souls, and Ginjo DNA, while also getting 2 extra but smaller eyes. The twin is actually still alive, but their personality is mostly dormant, allowing the more sadistic one to take control most of the time. This caused there to be 2 different races. This child eventually is found by the Adolf cult and becomes their leader. One of the other children, who was Ginji and Seikei, was already in the cult, and then the final one was Chaosin and Seikei. All of them were worshipped, and they changed their name to the Rezero, 3 Ds to represent what they are: deception, destruction, and death. The Rezero has several symbols. I'll explain it now. The 3 lines represent the 3 of the multi-race children. These circular ones on their backs and heads are basically ways of telling if they are in the cult. The 3 V's on their tongue is basically a promise not to go against the tree's doom, and this one is basically a declaration: you're a masochist, looking to make people fight you. The cult has a goal which I'm not getting to, but I'll just say it's close to the unoriginal villain plot of taking over the world, but this time it's more complicated than just that. The Rezero has an influence in the story ever since Arc 3, but don't become a problem until Arc 15. Comment down below any other questions you have for my series. See ya.